John, do you remember the Saturday morning cartoon Captain Planet?
I do. I can't say that I was a watcher of Captain Planet. Yeah. I definitely watched a lot of the other similar shows that weren't laced with propaganda.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that long enough. My kids were really small at the time. I watched that enough to go, this is against everything that I stand for. But I'm looking at the Kronies, and it's the same basic story. I mean, can you introduce the Kronies?
Okay, so, well, of course, we've got just the beginning of a set of cronies here. So we thought that these represented a lot of the most egregious or should I say awesome cronies.
Yes.
We've got, of course, Bancor the Prophet, which is represents sort of that perhaps most cronyized of industries, banking and finance. Ariel Stryker, which is perhaps, we can have a spirited debate about her role in the cronies' power, but she's the military-industrial complex.
Well, I happen to actually, I just said this 2 weeks ago, I used to make fun of the military-industrial complex. I listened to Eisenhower's speech over and over again in the last few years. That may be the last time a president was telling the American people the truth.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah. It's pretty impressive and pretty prescient for the opportunities to create great cartoons.
So will you actually make a cartoon, do you think? Will you make a Saturday cartoon?
You know, I would love to, if only there was somebody that had a network that would be interested in sharing a cartoon of that sort.
My gosh, I would love it. I will say, I've seen we can look one up. I will tell you this, John. I wanted to get you on because what you do is unique. It is really hard to do, and many people are trying to do it, and nobody has hit it like you have. And whether you do anything with us or ever, I have 70,000 square feet of studio space here. This is a movie studio in Dallas, Texas. You don't have to worry about renting studio space. If you need a place to shoot things, we will help you any way we can, because, I mean, you made the Von Mises rap videos, which were off the charts good, and now this, off the charts good. Anything you need, because I don't know a lot of people that are actually doing this, and we need to find more people like you.
Well, that's an offer I will probably take you up on, by the way.
I offer it sincerely. Good.
And I think we both moved to Texas for similar reasons and at similar times, if I remember correctly. Yep. I moved down in April of 2011.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually a lot of creative people who believe in similar ideas, or in general, I think people are interested in the world being a better place.
We've gotten lost in left-right politics. We've gotten lost. I mean, you know, you want to talk about cartoons. I'm practically a cartoon character. The things that they say that I'm for or against, I'm usually not for or against. I love the phrase we've been kicking around here lately. I saw a T-shirt and I love it. Libertarianism, quietly plotting to take over the world, to leave everyone alone.
Isn't it? It's quite a conspiracy.
It is.
I'm conspiring to let people have more control over their own lives.
I know. Yes, we are conspiring to let you make your own choices. It's crazy. It's crazy. But what's nuts is it's the argument that everybody who is a thinking rational person, that's where they are. That's what they believe.
You know, I think what's funny is when you take the labels away, and when you just start to interact with people about the things they believe and sort of walk through a simple conversation, I found that, and I'm a pretty hardcore ideological guy, I have to say. I'm very much an idealist about what I think people can do when they're free to do so. It's not always going to be great, but I think it's going to be better than the alternatives. And yet, I think when you take those political labels away, what you find is a lot more common ground. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm in Austin, Texas, and one of my neighbors politically couldn't be on the further on the opposite side of the spectrum, right, in a certain sense. And
we try to keep them all in Austin. We try to keep them all in Austin.
Yeah, the Cuba of Texas.
Yeah.
But we just get along famously, and we have these, you know, spirited conversations. The fact of the matter is that unless you literally are a crony, mm-hmm, you want the world to be a better place, and be a better place for the least of us. Mm-hmm. And I happen to think that freedom and free markets does that. And I think the bigger you make government, the bigger a target it becomes for people who are politically connected.
Yep.
And that is the story of the cronies, that it is that power, that ability to concentrate benefits on the people who have access, that really is at the heart of the problem and the conversation.
I want you to go to thecronies.com and sign up. I think you have a newsletter or something, I don't know, but I'd like you to show the interest in the cronies, and I will tell you that, John, I didn't make that offer lightly.
Thanks.
You need a studio, you just let us know, and you can grab space here in one of our movie studios, because what you're doing is exactly right. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that, Glenn.
You bet.
Thank you.
Back in a minute.